Got something special for YouTube. Driveway Demons and I are collaborating.
I'm on my way right now to Driveway Demons in New Jersey. And basically, he's going to do a review on my Jeep, and I'm going to do a review on his Durango SRT. So basically, I've already talked ad nauseum about why I think the Jeep SRT is easily the best product that FCA has. You got all-wheel drive. It doesn't really matter what engine you have under the hood, but you can use this all year round as your daily driver. It's got so much power that the majority of the cars on the road can't even hope to keep up with you. They can't hope to pass you. They can't hope to challenge you in the road. Now, the best things about these trucks is that they come with adaptive cruise control, which I've demonstrated. It's very easy to use the adaptive cruise control. Like for instance, there's two buttons on the steering wheel. One is basically right here, and all you got to do is hit that button and the Jeep will settle into traffic behind whatever's in front of you. Now with the newest SRT and with the newest Jeep products, there's also lane keeping assist, which my model doesn't have, but the newer models are going to all pretty much have it because they have parallel parking, computerized parallel parking. And as a daily driver, I mean, it's huge. The thing is big, it's spacious, they're comfortable. And the reason why people go for the Durango over the Jeep SRT is because the Jeep SRT has only a second row, but the Durango has a third row. So the thing about it is, you know, the Durango does miss out on some features the Jeep SRT has. Like the Durango doesn't get the panoramic sunroof. The Durango doesn't get some of these interior trim pieces like the carbon fiber laminates that I have. These are called appliques. But other than that, the Jeep SRT makes a lot of sense for people who have more than two kids, or people who they drive around with a lot of people, because that last row is really designed for kids only. You know, you don't really want to put an adult back in their last row, which I'm going to show you. But that second row is actually a really good, spacious place to be. Got plenty of headroom, so for the most part, it's not cramped at all. And that's basically it. And you know, like, my favorite thing about these trucks and these SRT products is how they can be completely settled, but then all I got to do is hit that gas, and the thing about it is they turn into fucking animals, just like that. Just like that. Turn into animals. I don't want to drive a car, I want to drive a monster. I don't want to drive fucking cars. I'll leave the cars to the people in these Hyundais and these Toyota Camrys and stuff. I don't want to drive that. I want to drive monsters. Absolute monsters. And that's the thing. These cars go from being civil to being absolute fucking monsters. It's amazing that they haven't passed laws against these things, because you know they always like to limit you. Like they don't want you having cool shit. You know, but that's the thing. That's the reason why all of these SRT products, these things are just absolutely fantastic. And the funny thing about it is Chrysler is really selling you obsolete, ancient technology. A big iron block engine, heavier than an aluminum. You have these big bodies that aren't made of aluminum, like Ford is doing. Ford has basically said, yeah, we're gonna make everything economical. Problem is, people don't want that. They wanna drive fucking monsters. That's what they want. They wanna be able to do that shit in traffic. They wanna be able to say, oh, you know what? I don't like this fucking Maxima, because that was a Maxima. I don't like this Maxima next to me, so let me just fly past that Maxima and make it so that the Maxima stays way back there behind me, because I don't like Maximas. And that's what we want to be able to do. The problem is they don't want that. They got all these 40-mile-per-hour speed limits, 25-mile-per-hour speed limits, 50-mile-per-hour speed limits. Nobody's got time for that. I mean, you know, if I'm in a rush to work, I expect to get to work expeditiously. I ain't got time to be watching. You see that? It's like you got all these damn cops hiding behind these things, waiting for you, and they'll pull you over for like 65, 75 and everything. So basically, you want to have a vehicle that can go from civilized to absolute monster and then right back to civilized when you have to quickly slow down. And that's the reason why I love Brembo brakes. Brembo brakes are the best brakes you can get. See, all these people are always like, oh yeah, well, I don't need to spend money to buy a fast car. I could build a fast car and save my money. Yeah, well, you can put a lot of power into your hood, but how the fuck are you gonna stop that thing? My Brembos, those things are huge. And you gotta have huge Brembos if you wanna stop. And that's what the Durango offers. That's what the Jeeps offer. That's what the Dodge Charger, Dodge Challenger, that's what they offer. And the thing about it is it's still winter right now. Like right now it's freezing. I'm gonna put my windows back up soon. But it's freezing right now. And the thing about it is, if it starts snowing right now like it did a little like earlier this week, suddenly you can wake up in the morning here and there's like a couple of inches of snow. And if you got a Hellcat or a Charger SRT or a Dodge Challenger SRT, you can't take those things out in the snow because you're risking yourself. Not only are you risking yourself getting in an accident, you're risking somebody running and sliding into the back of you, which will completely destroy your resale value. So believe me, there's a method to my madness. These products are the best that you can buy. Everybody knows it. And the thing about it is, everybody wants in, but guess what? These things are also expensive. They're not just giving them away. The Jeep, there's no deals on these because they know that the people want them. So the Jeeps, they don't lease these things like they do Hellcats. You can get a Hellcat for like $600 a month. If you have excellent credit, you can get it cheaper than that. You get like $540 a month. The thing about it is Jeeps don't have sales. These are $80,000 trucks when you got all the features. And the Durango is a little bit cheaper. It's between $5,000, possibly $8,000 cheaper, depending upon what your trim options are. So, and that's it. And that's basically the reason why these guys. Oh, see, I got this. Look at this guy. I'm gonna let him go because I want you to see it. Look at this guy. This guy wants a piece. This guy wants a piece. He's got that little silly ass Lexus. This guy wants a piece. This guy wants a piece. You want a piece? You don't want a piece. Because there's cops around this area. There's Port Authority cops because you see the Verrazano Bridge coming up. There's cops that are usually on the side and they're waiting for assholes so that they can catch them. So I'm not gonna fuck with this thing. But believe you me, if I really want a piece of that Lexus, believe me, I'll give him all he wants. You know. And I really believe that with the Trackhawk, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, when are you gonna get your Trackhawk? You know what? I think that they're going to do exactly what they did with the 2012, 2013 Jeep SRT. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna restyle that car soon. And when they do, the first generation model that they released is gonna basically be it's gonna be obsoleted, just like with the, because if you remember, there was a 2012, 2013 Jeep SRT. They're getting ready to restyle these cars for 2019, 2020. So my thing is, people who bought the 2012, 2013, they missed out on the Uconnect and they missed out on this 8-speed transmission. So my thing is, I think that they are going to actually do the restyles that I've been talking about, and only time will tell. So, you know, I got the money. That's not the issue. My problem is right now I'm not sold on it. And then I like my cars loud. So I don't know who over there decided that they were going to put a massive fucking muffler called a Helmholtz chamber on the Trackhawk to make it quieter, and then think that I actually give a shit that there's somebody driving with me or riding with me who doesn't want the noise to be that loud. In fact, people spend money to make the shit louder. They don't want it to be quiet. They want that shit to be as loud as they can make it. That's the reason why we have muffler tunes and all that shit, and people change their mufflers. I mean, it's just common sense. So my thing is, it's like, why do they keep trying to deny us what we want? It's just give the people what they want, and that's all you gotta do. But the reason why I'm bothering to make this much of a video right here with the Jeep, the reason why I'm bothering is because I want to basically be able to talk about in the same video the difference between buying that Jeep SRT and buying a Durango SRT. So that's the reason why I'm bothering to make one more video, because I'm gonna put it all together, attach it, because I got the iPhone 4K 60 frames per second. So, you know, I want to sew it all together, and I want to make a really good comprehensive video. Because you know what I really hate? I'm sick and tired are these goddamn professional, I hate professional reviewers, because for the most part, these people don't own the cars that they're talking about. Like, they can criticize negatively, but for the most part, they don't own shit. And when you really find out what they're driving, most of them got these shitty-ass Volkswagen station wagons and TDIs and garbage. And they're driving around the Honda Accords with these stupid CVTs. And they drive around shit just like this, like rogues. Like, I see these professional reviewers, they talk so much smack. And these guys aren't driving shit. Like, I mean, they really have nothing. I don't like that. As far as I'm concerned, if you're really going to review these things, what you really need to do is buy one, and then you need to live with it day to day. And that's how I do. Because you know my YouTube channel, I've done living reviews on the Chrysler 300. Like, that's why I made these little snippet videos. Chrysler 300, I still get hits on those. Hellcat, Mercedes S-Class. I've made little videos about like bullshit, like the Bluetooth system in the S550. I've made a lot of video reviews, just little snippet. Oh, Tesla Model X. And my thing is, if you're a real reviewer, that's why I call my reviews unprofessional, because no, I'm not if I want to curse, I'm a fucking curse, period. And the thing about it is, you should have to live with one of these cars. You should have to experience what it is to have one of these things day by day. And that, I believe, is a sign of a really good reviewer, whether you're professional or not. And technically, because I get paid from YouTube for all this shit anyway, I really, technically that is professional. Now, you could say, yeah, we got a nasty mouth. Well, the angry video game reviewer, James Rolfe, he had a nasty mouth. So why are you talking shit on my channel? I tell you what, if you don't like it, you can go and you can find you a nice, quiet, happy fucking person who borrows their car in order to do a review on it, and has nothing to add about the car except the shit that they could figure out in like one weekend of driving it, Because I tell you, it's like, I really get sick and tired of that. And then you get these morons who you got to fight on the comment section. Oh, yeah, well, you should have bought a Range Rover. You should have bought a Range Rover. I would never pay $80,000 for a Dodge. You should have bought a Range Rover. Because the Range Rover, it's got an interior. It's like, the interior's got wood and grain and everything. Meanwhile, when you find out who these people really are, these are teenagers living with their mommy in the attic in their mommy's house. They're deep in student loan debts, and they ain't got shit. And if they do have a car, it's because their daddy brought them a Honda Civic, but daddy didn't buy you a Range Rover. And they're, oh yeah, well, you should have never bought no Hellcat. You should have bought a Lincoln Continental, or you should have bought a Maserati, or you should have bought something. And then when you find out who these people actually are, you find out that most of them are prostituting themselves for money on the street corners, and they're just on YouTube talking shit, and they don't have anything to their name whatsoever. So my thing is, it's like, I'll tell you what, guys, you leave this to the professionals, and we'll tell you what's the reason to buy and what's the reason to not buy, okay? Because the thing about it is, I can't take a professional car review from somebody driving one of those, okay? I can't take a professional car review from somebody driving their old Q34 and they're doing long-term. This is how they hide. This is how they lie. What they say, oh yeah, well, I'm doing long-term reviews on my Acura Legend, and I'm doing long-term reviews on my Honda Civic 2-cylinder. It's like, no, listen, if you're gonna do professional car reviews, you should buy one of these and you should live with it day by day. You see that? 23,840 miles, and I'm getting 9.4 miles to a gallon. I refuse to argue with people about how many miles per gallon one of these cars gets, and I absolutely refuse to argue about the long-term reliability. I put all of them 23,000 miles on here. I didn't buy it used. I bought it brand new. And you were with me when I bought it brand new, because I made the video when I bought it brand new. So as far as I'm concerned, if you aren't buying them and you're not living with them, then you ain't no professional.
Before I do this review, I wanted to stop by a Chrysler dealer. So this is Chrysler in Sansone. You may remember that I purchased a Hyundai here from Sansone. I purchased an Azera a couple years back. I think I still have that video. So here you go. You see, this is what I'm talking about. You see? When you make a great product, you can show that shit off and you can be proud of it. That's the Jeep Grand Cherokee's big brother. the Durango SRT. Now, I've already made a couple of videos about the SRT Durango. A lot of other people have already made videos about the SRT Durango. But really, it all comes down to not only having that engine in there, but you got that Hellcat hood. And that's what the Trackhawk is missing. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not really interested in trying to fabricate a hood. Like, there's some guys here in New York, and yeah, they can make you a Hellcat hood and everything. The problem is it's not fitted properly, and it also is not under warranty. And I think that's a problem. As far as I'm concerned, they know goddamn well that we're supposed to have Hellcat hoods, so there's no reason for us not to have Hellcat hoods on Trackhawks. And until they put that Hellcat hood on the Trackhawk, I don't think I could be completely interested. So what are you looking at? Sticker price is $62,995, and the total price is $66,875, and that comes with the $1,000 tow hitch attachment, and it comes with the power sunroof for $1,200. Obviously, it's not the panel roof from the Jeep. The Jeep gets it, the Dodge Durango doesn't. And then you get these $595 wheels. Now, why is it that the Trackhawk doesn't have wheels like that? Those wheels look cool, you know? Now, granted, they don't have the slot venting and stuff that the Jeep SRT wheels have, but still, these wheels look pretty cool. And you look at the caliper color, look at that shit. Red calipers, you see? That's what I'm talking about. So, you know what? I think Chrysler Jeep, I think by now, so many people have complained. I think they realize that they fucked up. And I'm pretty sure that they are gonna make some changes. And also, you see that nav screen, the Uconnect 8.4? They're getting ready to change that. They're getting ready to put the Ram 1500's big nav screen into these cars. So that's also something that you gotta consider. If you're considering buying one of these things, if you probably wait a year, you'll be able to get the newer technology where you get the bigger Uconnect. Because here's the thing, like every time I look at somebody who has one of those 2012, 2013 Jeeps, the Jeep SRT for 2012, 2013, the first thing I say, oh man, you guys don't have Uconnect for one, and then on top of that, you guys don't have that great 8-speed. And as far as I'm concerned, those are things I got to have. The power must be dead. I was trying to open the liftgate just to show you the space, but I can always do that when I'm at Driveway Demon's house. Beats audio. So that's what it is. And you can also see in the side pillars, they have the same speaker system layout that the Jeep SRT has. So you have two speakers next to the heads of whoever's sitting in those rear two seats. So, you know, this is what we're talking about. It's like, you don't try to fuck us and, oh yeah, well, you can't have the Hellcat hood because that's for the Durango. No, fuck you. I expect to have it all. All. You know? Yeah, so this is probably one of their featured vehicles. And that's what it's all about. Look at that hood. Look at that hood. And it's funny because the Jeep Trackhawk has SRT written under the side, but the Durango doesn't. But then again, it's under the hood. Nobody gives a shit. And you see this hood? This hood, it actually is a part number somewhere. But unfortunately, because the Durango and the Jeep SRT don't share the same fascia, you can't just take that hood and you can't just put that hood on the Jeep SRT. But you see this shit? This is what it's all about. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of owners who are pissed off and angry and they agree with me. Here they have a huge lot. They got Jeeps for days because the Jeep Grand Cherokee is one of the best-selling Jeeps. They got Durangos for days because the Durango is a great-selling 3-seat or 3-row crossover. But see, another thing about having that hood, when you got that hood right there, that hood is a visual cue that allows people who know about these cars to spot these cars right away. So when you look down this road, you can tell which one, before you even see badging and anything, you can tell that this is a Bruiser Gray Dodge Durango. You can tell. All you got to do is just see that hood and you know that it must be special. Like, look at this one. This is Bruiser Gray, 68865. Same as the last, except this one has the red interior. Oh, and it came right on too. Look at that shit.
You get in your car in the morning and it greets you like that, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna race the shit out of these goddamn Econo boxes. Your car almost talks to you. If you listen very carefully, you can hear it. It literally talks to you. It says, yeah, we're gonna race the shit out of these freaking Priuses. It's like they don't stand a chance. You got all that space. Look at all that space. Put your kids in it. Look at that. They got the little kids. They got the floor seat space. Look at that. They can put their legs right then and there. And then they got the little armrests. And they got the pass-through where they just walk in. You know? How do you beat that? You can't. You know? And this is that Bruiser Gray. I did like one video on this color, and I got a lot of hits on this video. I got like 30,000 something hits on that because, you know, it was a great looking color. Great looking color. It's a little bit different than black. Me personally, I don't like colors this dark because the problem is if you get any scratches, people can see that shit from a half mile away. And look at this one. This is like, I think this might be granite pearl. You know, see, this is why I do my videos the way I do them. I'm not a professional. I don't want to be a professional. I just don't want to. I want to do it just like this. This has 795 miles on it. Unless somebody trade this in use. This one has the televisions, got the red seat interior. It's got the TVs. Got TVs in here. Uh-oh, watch out. And looks really 70,465. See, those televisions add $2,000. These TVs. Now, my thinking is that these seats are modular. My thinking is that these two seats can be switched out of this Durango and switched into the Jeep SRT. And I think maybe the only difference is the upholstery. But here's the thing, especially when you think about the Trackhawk, that's absolutely stupid. What they should have done was they should have made it so that, yeah, the seats, because these Jeeps are, the Jeep and the Durango are about the same size, except for, you know, the third row. What they should have done was they should have made it so that these seats were completely modular, switch them out, but the only difference would be that, you know, the upholstery for this area, because, you know, I have stitching here where it's white and it's stitched out. And I'm like, well, why didn't y'all do that when you're charging $100,000? It's like you half-assed it, and you know you half-assed it, you know? And it's funny because I'm enjoying watching all of these people who were early adopters buying into these things. In fact, what color is this? I'm watching all of these early adopters buying into these things. And the early adopters all are basically saying the same thing. Granite, metallic, clear coat. Yeah, that's the name of it. Oh shit, it's starting to rain a little, so I gotta hurry up. Because I wanna get to this house. But then again, we got all-wheel drive. Rain doesn't change shit. I had hoped it'd be dry out, but I guess that just means it won't drive as fast. Oh well. So, this is the Bruiser Gray regular, and that's the Bruiser Gray SRT. Side by side. Great looking cars. Great looking cars. Then over here you got like a sea of Dodge Challengers. I don't know if they got any Chargers. You got a sea of Challengers. The Challenger is a big seller because it's not very expensive. This guy's got hood pins. So he must have. See, this is what I'm talking about. I shouldn't have to change my own hood. And I damn sure don't want hood pins unless all that shit is factory. You know? I shouldn't have to do that. But the charges are right over here. Let's see what kind of charges they got. See, the thing about it is right now, rear wheel drive ain't moving. If you live in the South, yeah, you can sell these things across state lines. You know, if somebody wants to drive from another state because you have a color that they can't get. But for the most part, rear wheel drive is not selling because we live in Northeast. We need all-wheel drive. There are rumors that Dodge is going to bring out a wide-body Hellcat Charger. Now, considering how good the wide-body Hellcat Challenger looks, that would be a great thing. But my thing is, what you really need to do is have an all-wheel drive offering. And I know the first thing somebody says, we don't want all-wheel drive. That adds so much weight. It adds so much mass. These fucking cars weigh damn near 5,000 pounds as it is. The thing about it is, when you have all-wheel drive attached to an automatic, we're not really worried about how fast the car is. But if you've got all-wheel drive, the thing about it is you can drive this fucking car all year long, and that's what's important. See, like just looking down this road, you can see that none of these are Hellcats because you can't see any nostrils. So the only thing I see right here is this Destroyer Gray 392 Daytona model. You know, they have so many different versions. I hear they have a new GT version of the Charger where you get the Daytona seats. See, look how much thought they put into that. They got beautiful stitching. They got gold stitching all the way around there. See, the whole point is to make you comfortable with your purchase. That's the whole point. But it's like, I tell you, with that Trackhawk, it feels like they didn't put any care into it. It's like they just took the Hellcat motor, threw it in there, and said, fuck it, let's charge $100,000 for it. And that's it. It's like they didn't put any care into it. This is the Touareg Charger, but this is not a Hellcat. This is not special. This is like a V6. But Touareg is like the only color you actually see anymore. The red line that you could see in the video where I bought the Hellcat Charger, you know, you don't see that color anymore. It's all you get now is this Ferrari Touareg. You don't get red lines anymore. Like, I think they may have stopped making that color. I think that might have been exclusive to 2016. You know, and that's basically it. And you know, that's basically what I'm talking about. And I know they got new Wranglers and everything. I'm really anxious to get my hands on the new Ram 1500 Uconnect touchscreen, because you know if the Ram has it, they're going to port that into every single other car they got, basically. Every big car anyway. So you know the Jeep's going to get it. You know the Durango's going to get it. But my thing is, they got to do something about their portfolio. Chrysler only has 2 cars now. The 200's dead. The 300 and the Pacifica are all that Chrysler has. They got to do something about that portfolio. Chrysler should have had a Hellcat, but they were worried that the SRT models weren't selling in America, so they were only selling the right-hand drive versions, Australia, Dubai, places like that, or you know, and the Jeep alongside it. Look at this shit. You see 3 Jeep Grand Cherokees, all silver. Which one's the SRT? You know why you can see my truck right there? You know why you can see mine? Because I've got the LED lights, where in this one don't have it. So here you go. You got one that you see right away is not SRT. Then you got this other one right here that you see is not SRT. And then look at that. Look at that. When you look at that, you already know what it is. So this is Driveway Demons modified, mind you. Now it's got some beautiful modifications. Now he has the front lip spoiler right here. He has the hood on it, and he has the hood to match with that Durango right there. He has a beautiful matching hood, and it's all white. And then he also has his Acura Integra, which I'm actually surprised that he didn't put a wrapped hood on that. So anyway, this is a Hellcat Charger. He modified it. He can tell me all about the modifications a little bit later, and I'm gonna drive it right now. So let's cold start it. Standard black interior, and car seat back there. Pay no attention to that. Yeah, somebody was telling me, yeah, you should do collaborations with people. I know he did one with Family Cruising. If you're not subscribe to Driveway Demons, you can subscribe to him. And I have to assume that if you're watching this video, you're subscribed to me already. So let me just get myself buckled in, set up my seat belts. It rained a little bit out here. Now the wet handling of these cars is, now this is modified, by the way. He says he's pushing about 800 horsepower because he modified it. PCM changes and this, that, and the other. So, with that said, You know, I'm gonna be very careful with it, obviously, because it's somebody else's car. And then on top of that, it's modified. So let's just hit that power button right there and set up nice, and let's get my heated seats nice and warm here. And basically that's that. Now he's got his YouTube banner here. Now see, I personally, I don't put my name in YouTube because I kind of don't want anybody being able to spot me, like in traffic, because you know the cops, they'll be like, oh yeah, oh shit, it's Big Truck Series, let's follow him, let's get his ass. You know, I don't want them getting me. You know, I don't want them like, oh yeah, we're gonna follow Big Truck Series and then we'll ticket his black ass as soon as he gets home. We'll ticket the shit out of him. And it's like, I don't have time for that shit. So as you can see, this is my Jeep SRT right there. So, you know, just gonna be as careful as possible. And sounds good. And he's got some, he's pushing a little bit of power in this. Yeah, we're getting a little spin on those tires. So I guess the question that a lot of people ask is like, and I'm getting a lot of emails about, should I buy a used Hellcat or should I get a Scat Pack or should I get like something else? Let me just double check the oh shit, the hood. Let me just pull over and I'll double check it just to make sure everything is we'll look inside, we'll see what's under this hood and everything. So some people ask me, they're like, yeah, should I get a Scat Pack or should I get like a used Hellcat? And I'm like, well, if you really want one of these cars, one thing you got to remember is that because these are $70,000 cars, you got to remember that, because if you get one of these things, you're basically expecting that all the maintenance costs are going to be higher. So even if they sell you, because right now if you look on eBay, Hellcats are going used for like, you know, Hellcats are going used for like 70, 50,000 and whatnot. So the thing about it is, there's some people who are saying, you know what, instead of me getting a Scat Pack, let me get a Hellcat, and this way I'll have a cool car and I can go to my car club and I'll have a really cool car. But the issue is, once again, you know, I made videos to explain the rotors on these things are like $1,000 a piece. The brake pads are freaking expensive. And ultimately, it's like, if you buy one of these things, you're expecting to pay a whole lot more over you know, a period of time. You're gonna pay a lot more because, you know, these are not cheap cars to maintain. And then you talk about gas prices, how much gas costs and everything. So I'm going to be very, very gentle with this car. I'm not racing it or anything because it unexpectedly started raining. So I'm going to be very, very gentle with this car. But the Hellcat is definitely, it's a cool car, high maintenance. It doesn't have all-wheel drive. So basically when you buy something like this, you got to be prepared to have a second car if you live in the Northeast. Now, if you live in like Texas or Arizona or Nevada or something, yeah, you're okay. But for the most part, it's like, you know, it's a race car basically. It's damn near a race car. I mean, you know, it's not as difficult, I would say, to live with as perhaps maybe the what is it called, the Dodge Durango? No, not the Dodge Durango, the Dodge Demon. But you're buying a race car. When you buy one of these things, you're buying a race car, and this is absolutely. It doesn't give you the peace of mind that the all-wheel drive of the Dodge Durango or the Jeep Grand Cherokee gives you. And that's the bottom line. So because you just don't have that all-wheel drive. Now you get a lot of these people like, oh yeah, well I drive my Hellcat all year round. I drive it in ice and snow and this, that, and the other. And then they're the first people to be surprised when they get into a car accident. And I always tell them, I'm like, listen, you know, you shouldn't chance it. Yeah, you could put Blizzak tires on the back of one of these things. Yeah, you can get tires that are good for rain handling and everything. But the thing about it is, you don't want to do that. I mean, you really are better off getting an SUV. Now, if you got Hellcat money and you're going to finance, you could get a Jeep SRT or you could get a Dodge Durango. And if you get the Durango, you get those extra seats. So, you know, you get plenty of space, extra seats. And if you have like a bunch of kids and you have grandparents or something that ride with you or whatever, then you have the extra space. Now, my issue with the Durango is that it doesn't have as much cargo space. And cargo space could mean a lot to certain people, especially, if you go on vacation all the time. So that's something that you got to consider. You got to consider, well, do I want to have lots of cargo space or do I want more space for people? Because obviously a Charger, even though these are relatively big cars, the thing about it is a Charger isn't necessarily a car that you want to entrust as a family car unless you possibly are getting like one of the SXTs that have the all-wheel drive system. Now, if you have the all-wheel drive system, yeah, you can use it all year round, and you can be very happy with it because you can basically live with that car on a regular basis. So that is definitely something you got to consider. It's like, some people don't want to have an SUV. Some people don't want to drive an SUV. Some people want to have that fucking powerful, loud ass sound, which strangely enough, the Trackhawk, see, some people are buying Trackhawks and they're wondering, well, why is the Trackhawk doesn't sound like a Hellcat Charger? And the reason why is because what they did was they put this really big suitcase-sized muffler on it called a Helmholtz chamber. And a Helmholtz chamber is basically like a really big muffler. And they justify it in that, oh yeah, well, your family wants to be able to sleep and everything. They don't want to hear that supercharger whine. To which I reply, well, fuck that. Then what we'll do is we'll get a second car and it'll be a shitty, boring car. Like we'll get like a RAV4 or something. And the family will ride around in the RAV4, and meanwhile, I'll have my supercharged Hemi all to myself, and that's and this way you don't miss out on having super fast cars and shit. But see, here in New York, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, we got snow and shit, and when that snow comes down, it's like you gotta have all-wheel drive. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. You gotta have all-wheel drive. If you don't have all-wheel drive, you got problems. And you don't want to have problems. You don't want to be trying to stop and then all of a sudden you're sliding into the next guy. You don't want that shit. So that's really where it ends. That's what it is. The Hellcat is a great car. Challenger Hellcat, great car. Charger Hellcat, great car. But when it really comes down to it, all-wheel drive. Now, if Dodge Chrysler takes the Jeep's powertrain system and somehow figures out a way to adapt that and make a car out of it and say, yeah, we're going to make a Chrysler 300, we'll make a Charger, we'll make a Challenger, there'll be all-wheel drive Hellcats. Let me tell you something. If I was working there at Chrysler, that's what we'd be doing. And we would be building beasts. We'd be building all-wheel drive beasts. Like you'd have all four paws clawing at the ground. We'd be building beasts out of these freaking things. Yeah, you might get like 10 miles to a gallon or less, but the thing about it is you'll appreciate it every time you step on that shit and you hear that shit go room, 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 room. You hear that shit? Listen, I'm not gonna say shit. Listen to that. Listen to that. Oh my God, there's a monster under the hood. My God, save us. God, save us. Jesus, Lord, save us. Monsters under the hood. So you don't hear shit like that when you're driving no Acura. You tell me, I want you to tell me which Acura sounds like this. I want you to tell me. Which Acura sounds like that? Tell me. Which, I want you to tell me something. Which, Lexus sounds like this? Which Lexus sounds like that? Tell me. I don't know. Tell me. Which BMW sounds like? Which BMW sounds like that? Which BMW sounds like that? Huh? Which one? Which Mercedes sounds like that? You know what this thing is? A Charger Hellcat, which you can get right now. Tell them Big Truck Series sent you if you go down to Dodge. You can get this right now. If you got good credit, you better have good credit. If you don't have good credit, there's no point in you even trying to get one. You can get this thing for less than $700 a month. 707 horsepower, less than $700 a month. It's like having a 4-door Lamborghini. Now, granted, it doesn't have the sharp angles and stuff that you get out of a Lamborghini, but driving these motherfuckers around is like having a 4-door Lamborghini. Now, if you have a bright colored paint job and all that, everybody will see it. They'll be like, holy shit, this guy's got a fucking Hellcat. And, some people put this big tags on it big stickers so everybody knows it's Hellcat. Yeah, you know, the hype has kind of died down a little bit. But once again, it's just like I was saying about the Jeep. These things go from being absolute beasts to being civilized, and then right back to being beasts. Totally unlike this Mazda 3. You see this Mazda 3? This is just civilized all day long. I don't want that. You see that Ford Fusion? That's civilized all day long. I don't like civilized. No. It's okay to be civilized, but it has to be a beast when I tell it to. I want it, like, you know, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? You know how Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, if he doesn't get that formula, you see the Ghibli? Ghibli's not a bad car. 4-wheel drive, overpriced in my opinion, overpriced. Not bad. I mean, you know, it's got very aggressive steering. I made a video about it. It's got very aggressive steering, very aggressive handling, very aggressive throttle response. But it's not a beast. For fucking $90,000, I expect that shit. I expect that shit to say woo. I expect it to go wee. You know, it doesn't do that. But you know, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, when Dr. Jekyll doesn't get that fucking, when he does not get that formula, Dr. Jekyll turns into Mr. Hyde. So I want to have a car that when I don't put that formula in it, it turns into Mr. Hyde. See what I'm saying? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. A car has to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It has to. If it can't do all that, then now we got a problem. I can't endorse you. I need Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That's what I need. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And that's basically what it comes down to. And the reason why Dodge, I keep saying this, and I want you to get it into your mind because I keep saying it. The reason why Dodge can charge $70,000 and $100,000 for these cars, like the Demon, because you're not getting a Demon at sticker, not at this point. The reason why is simply because they're selling you ancient engine technology, obsolete engine technology that just happens to be packaged in a fucking gigantic car. I don't want no fucking Viper. I can't fucking fit in a Viper. I'm gonna just say it just like that. I can't fit in a Viper. Secondly, I don't want a motherfucking manual. I want a goddamn auto. Look at these people running these lights. You see, now I'm here, Hellcat, civilized, obeying traffic. Look at that fucking guy with that blue car. Ran the light. Now what happens if he gets into a car? Look at this lady. Holy shit. What the hell? So anyway, what happens if this guy gets into a car accident because he's speeding through fucking lights? I hope the cops get his ass. In fact, yeah, I hope the cops get his ass speeding through lights. So now what would happen if he hits somebody's little Econo box piece of shit fucking Nissan Rogue? What would happen if that guy sped into the side of one of those people? That would be terrible. Yeah, you see it, but that's the issue right there. The startup in rain, you ain't taking off from no light. You just can't. And the problem is you also don't stop as fast, which is why I'm being so careful and cautious. But that's the real issue. It's like you need that all-wheel drive, and there's just nothing. There's no way around it. You need all-wheel drive. This is an all-wheel drive world. You need all-wheel drive. If you do not have all-wheel drive, if you don't have that all-wheel drive, we'll try to get nice and slow because I don't want to scrape it. But if you don't have all-wheel drive, man, it's like, you know, it's like that's a problem. Gotta have your all-wheel drive. Gotta have all-wheel drive. So now that, you know, I got that out of my system and we talked about that just a little while, if you're one of these people who thinks that you're just gonna get a Hellcat used for $40,000 and you're gonna pay like $400 or $500 a month or whatever it is, and you're not gonna incur massive maintenance charges or massive insurance charges, well, I got news for you. Yeah, you will. The insurance costs are high. This is New York. New Jersey, it's a little bit lower. Pennsylvania, it's much lower. But if you're in New York City like I am, I have to literally register my cars out of the state to another registration address in New Jersey. Because the problem is, they literally, like I quoted the Trackhawk, they said, if you want a Trackhawk, it's gonna cost you $375 a month. I was like, fuck that. And I was like, no, thank you, Geico, but no thanks. That's not gonna work to register it in New York. So basically, you know, I'm just basically waiting, biding my time, seeing what I want to do. But the bottom line is this: if you can't afford a $500,000 Lamborghini and you really want a super fast sports car right now, this is your best option. Dodge is a segment killer. There's nothing else in these segments that even halfway compares to what Dodge is doing, and only because they're giving you obsolete technology, but it's packaged really, really, really well. And that right there is the bottom line.